This is the Panasonic 15 f1.7 lens. It has really fast autofocus, it has a built-in aperture ring control, and the images come up from this lens, they are really sharp. This is one of my favorite street photography lenses for micro four thirds. Today I'm inviting you guys to come along with me as I shoot around this Sultan Abdul Samad Building area. Let's do this! I'm sure some of you will say, but Robin, you've mentioned that your favorite street photography lens is Olympus 25 f1.8, or sometimes you say it is 45 1.8. So which one is it? How come it's suddenly Panasonic 15 f1.7? Well, I've made a video to talk about my favorite street photography lenses. Yes, they include 15 1.7, 25 f1.8, and 45 f1.8. And I've talked about in which situation I would choose which lens. I'll put a link to the video up here. Please check it out. Personally, I prefer to shoot most of my street photography with the 50mm equivalent focal length. It is just my preferences, but sometimes I love wide angle shooting as well. And I do shoot with about 28mm equivalent, and this Panasonic 15 f1.7, it gives me just that. I know, in terms of proper equivalent focal length, that is about almost 30mm, but hey, 30, 28, it is close enough. I use this Panasonic 15 f1.7 as if I'm using a 28mm wide angle lens for my street photography, and it works very, very well. There are many reasons why I love this Panasonic 15 f1.7. Number one, I love its compact form factor. The lens is really small, it's meant to be very light. In fact, it was launched together with the world's smallest interchangeable lens camera, the Panasonic Lumix GM1. It just fits the smaller micro four thirds cameras so well. In fact, I can fit this combination in my pants pocket and bring it around no issue whatsoever. Number two, I really appreciate the fact that this lens has built-in aperture ring control. This is especially useful for cameras that have simpler control layout like this Panasonic GM1. It doesn't have a lot of direct controls or dials. In fact, it only has single control dial. Therefore, that aperture ring on the lens itself that allows you to control the aperture or f number directly, that is definitely a welcome. Number 3, image quality. this Panasonic 15 f1.7 may seem like a very tiny lens. It doesn't seem like much, but trust me, it can produce excellent results. Sharpness from this lens has always been really amazing. It is not just sharp at the center, but it's sharp across the frame, and it renders excellent contrast, really good fine details. Every time I look at the images come out from this lens, it is always a wow. And number 4, of course, if I were to use this lens for street photography, I expect the autofocus to perform really well. Pairing this lens on this Panasonic GM1, which it was designed for in the first place, autofocus is always fast and super reliable, provided that you use single autofocus. Of course, continuous autofocus, if you want to track moving subjects, that's not really recommended because this camera, it doesn't have face detection autofocus. It relies on contrast detect. Fun fact, back in the day, I used to come to this area a lot to film my YouTube videos. If you trace back my earlier days of YouTube, the first several years, most of my talking head shots were done here. Although you may not be able to see this building clearly because I used a telephoto lens to film my talking head shots. But this area has been closed for quite a while. I think it's almost like 2 years for some renovation work, and for whatever reason now this building is open to public. It has never been open to public all my time here in Kuala Lumpur, and I have been here for more than 10 years. So today is gonna be quite an interesting day. We're gonna explore not just around this area, but we're gonna go inside the building as well. So this place has a lot of interesting history with me. I have used this area a lot for my earlier YouTube videos, and it's quite nice coming back to this Sultan Abdul Samad Building area. There really is nothing much to complain about when I use this Panasonic 15 f1.7 for my street photography. Perhaps the biggest problem is chromatic aberration, and there is some noticeable purple fringing in high contrast situations. It is not a severe problem, but it is there. And yes, I'm using this lens on a Panasonic camera body, and I can still see purple fringing even if I shoot in JPEG or RAW. Purple fringing is there and it is quite visible. It is not a big problem. You can easily fix this in post. I'm just saying that the problem exists because some people say, oh Robin, of course if you use the Panasonic 15 f1.7 on an Olympus camera body, because the Olympus camera doesn't have UV filter in front of the image sensor, you'll have chromatic aberration. If you use this lens on Panasonic camera body, you'll not see any purple fringing. That is completely wrong. That's all to share about why I love using this Panasonic 15 f1.7 for my wide-angle street photography. I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me, shooting around this area, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at my photographs. If you do, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Any contribution goes a long way. Links in the description below on how you can do any of that. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.